Good afternoon, friends. Welcome back to my channel. My name's Jess, and today we will be going through my 2025 reading journal. I'm going to be filling it out. Yes, it's May. Yes, I'm late. I'm so late to doing this. It's an absolute joke, but you know what? I thoroughly enjoyed filling out my reading journal, and I cannot wait to spend the rest of the year filling this out now that I have sorted it. Okay, so we're going to be going through all of the spreads that I've decided to plan for the year. We're going to go through all of the equipment that I'm using. I will go through that as I use it, and just some of the goals that I have for the year, why I chose to do the pages the way I did, that kind of thing. Look, I'm not creative, nor am I artistic, but what I can do is follow a Pinterest picture, and that's exactly what I've done for my spread, so don't come for me. Your reading journal is supposed to be whatever you want it to be, and this is what I want mine to be. And hopefully throughout the year I can make it a little bit better, considering last year's reading journal was really pretty cool. The reading journal I'm actually using today is this one. This is from Origami, which is on Amazon, and it's actually one of my favourite reading journals so far. So I had the same thing last year. I had a much thicker one, but it was pink and with like a wood texture look to it. They are all made from vegan leather too, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Why have a real leather book when you can have a fake leather book? These are absolutely phenomenal books. Absolutely love them. So bullet journal, as you would expect, and in them they have these little pockets at the back for you to store stuff. So I usually put like my stickers or my gold stars ready for when I rate, and they also all come with a stencil set, which I think is fantastic. So yeah, I shall link Origami down below from Amazon, and I highly recommend, if you're looking for a reading journal this year, to pick one of these bad boys up. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. Hi guys, it's VoiceOver Jess here. I would first off like to show you what equipment I've got. So obviously I've got my reading journal, which I've already showed you along with last year's. I've got pens, I've got my printouts ready, which look discoloured because my printer ran out of ink. We won't talk about it. I've got washi tapes, I've got the cutouts for the pages, and I've got lots of different pens and some different coloured cardstock. These are all the stuff that I'm going to be using today, along with some funky printed paper and some stencils that actually came with my reading journal, which is absolutely fantastic. Opening up my journal here is a quick flip through. Obviously I've stenciled through everything already, but I've just not filled it out and I've not made it look pretty. So we're going to start with the title page. I've decided to do a double spread because that first page is actually stuck together, which I actually hate when there's glue in the binding. But we're starting with the title page, and I think I'm going to use these coloured paper / printed paper and do a cutout of 2025. Now, this title page was the last thing on my mind. I really should have designed it first, but I didn't. And so what you're watching here is me actually brainstorming the design here and now. I didn't do this until I had started record, and here we are. I actually think freehanding this sort of stuff is my worst nightmare. I have such a shaky hand and proportions are not my thing. Now this too was absolutely impeccable, but as you can already see, I already tried to draw the zero a couple of times and have not done it to size. So obviously we're going to try it another 1,000 more times. Obviously using my handy dandy Pritt stick, we're going to stick this down. Now I love a good Pritt stick, especially when they're not dry, but sometimes I find that I get glue absolutely everywhere and I can't be the only one. I would use glue tape, but goodness knows where it's gone. I have lost my glue tape and I didn't have time to find it. I also just want to point out that I do not leave my title page like this. This video is in order of the pages that I do, not the order of the pages in the book. So I'm proud of this. I'm realising now that it is most definitely off centre, but hey ho, here we go. Next up are my reading goals page and my rating system, which I've already cut out some really cute floral patterns for. I just thought Last year I designed most of the pages through like either drawing or printing or stickering or something, and I thought, you know what, let's make it easy for myself and actually give myself some printouts. So reading goals on this page is for a couple of different things that I want to do, like read a certain amount of books, get used to DNFing, read a certain series, that sort of thing, and I will pop them on the screen here. Next up is the rating system page. So now this is where I can go back and refer to what each rating means for me. So last year I did exactly the same thing, and I'm just using these little gold sticker stars that I found in my local craft shop. And I'm actually starting at the top with 6 stars. As you can see, last year I did 5 stars. Now, Happy Place by Emily Henry completely changed my rating system, and so I felt it quite appropriate this year to start at 6 stars and work all the way down to 1 star. And because of how changed my rating system is, I will be labelling them later on down the line. Next up is my bookshelf. This is exactly the same kind of layout as I did last year, but I included a pretty little window scene in this. Not entirely sure what outside the window is going to look like, but hey ho. Now I use these W.H. Smith's sketch markers. I believe this is the 0.5 fine point, and I absolutely love these for doing the little details, and I outline absolutely everything in my journal. I just think it makes everything look so much better. Now, as you can see, I've already done half of the outlines of this, and that is purely because my camera died while filming the first couple of clips. And so I thought, hey, you don't need to see all of it, you know, you catch the drift. You get what I'm doing here. So I went through and outlined, and I think this is honestly the most satisfying process of the whole journal. Now, unlike last year, where I just coloured each and every book whatever colour I fancied, this year I've decided to colour code it by month. So at the bottom, I've just done my little squares with the month initials in, and as I go through the year, I will colour in each book depending on what month I read it in. I believe I saw Kate is Reading do this, and I absolutely loved it. On to the reading challenge. I did exactly this last year. Now, this is literally just squares for me to fill in the books I read for my reading goal, and I believe this is equates to the Goodreads reading goal. And on here I have 55 plus a couple of Kindle books, and I've also left space for extra books. Okay, next up is my most anticipated releases calendar. I have done January to June and July to December. Again, obviously I'm going to colour code these. Now, I didn't do the spread last year, but I saw this on Pinterest and I absolutely loved it, because I'm not usually one to track new releases. I kind of just see them come out, buy them, and then read them whenever I fancy. And I found that doing that, I actually get quite behind. So if I'm anticipating the releases, I've got them written down somewhere, then I can get them ready to put on TBRs or lists or use them in videos, that sort of thing. So it kind of helps me to kind of see what's going on in the book community, what's coming out, what books I should expect, and I will update this every so often. Obviously, the first half of the year, I have quite a few books ready to release. Half of them have already been released, obviously, because we're already in May, but I haven't got a lot written down for the second half, and you can see those 2 post-it notes at the top of the screen there. Those are the lists of new releases I have had since the start of the year, which I will be popping onto this calendar. Once again, I am just fine line outlining everything on this page because I think it looks so much nicer. Obviously, filling out each and every number was so time consuming, so let's skip that and head straight to filling out. Now, what I'm doing is that colour of the month that I have used, I will be dotting each date in the calendar, because then I can visually see when these books are coming out. To my absolute surprise, and you'll probably see my hands emote this further on in the clips, but most books come out on Tuesdays. I had no idea that Tuesday was like a release day, but having actually jotted it down and seeing it physically, most book comes out on Tuesday. So, next up we have my most anticipated reads. This is different to the calendars because what I'm actually going to do is print out the like book covers and stick them on, and then I can just cross them out or I can doodle around them when I've read them. I'm trying to go for funky colours this year because I don't think I used colours as much last year. And I decided to do single page spread because last year I overdid it. Way overdid it. And the same with my 25 books in 2025. I used a whole 2-page spread and it looked so incredibly messy. So I decided to use my TBR cart this year as a bit of inspiration. And I believe also Rachel Catherine, the Queen, did this too. And I absolutely loved it. It looked incredible in her reading journal. I also forgot to say that I have post-it notes on many of these pages with lists of books or the contents of the pages. I've just moved them off to the side so that I can get to doodling and drawing. Next up is my series tracker, another page that I am taking from last year's journal, and I absolutely adored this because being able to see every single series that I am currently in the middle of was so satisfying. Now this is the Pinterest inspiration picture. I am trying my best not to copy exactly, but like I said, I'm not the most creative, I am not the most artistic, and so sometimes I need a little bit of help with my organisation. As you can see with the post-it note, those are all the series that I am currently reading, and I actually think there's a few missing, to be honest. Surely I can't be down to only one post-it note worth of series. I did warn you that these clips would be in the order that I do the pages, not the order that the pages are in the book. And so here I am going back to use that same colour coding plan for the months in my bookshelf. Next up is my reading log, which again I did last year, and I love being able to see the books I've read in a list. Now the difference between this year and last year is I have written down an author category, a page number category, and a star rating category, whereas last year I had the title and then I had a start and finish date, which now looking at it, I actually think I preferred last year's, but here's to changes, here's to trying new things. And I think it would be really interesting to be able to calculate the amount of pages I've read, so I guess I did a good thing. Now let's all laugh with Jess because I accidentally started doing this without realising my camera was recording. So I've decided on this page to do Dutch doors, and this is for my physical TBR. I didn't know how else to do this, and I know Miss Rachel Catherine loves a Dutch door, and so do I. So this is my physical TBR. I've decided to do just a plain blue edging so that I can maybe doodle and draw in it as well. Don't worry, I will be filling out this physical TBR later on in the video and you can see some satisfying sped up clips of me doing this. Now this next spread, the book bingo, is simultaneously my favourite spread in the world and my biggest disappointment spread. So I'm showing you what I've done here purely because it was a huge mistake. I'll explain at the end, but here's a few clips of me filling this out before I realised I was totally wrong. And here is me filling out that series tracker. I think this is one of the most satisfying clips I've got. And I actually planned for way more space than I thought, so I'm kind of hoping that I get to read more series this year. If you saw my Reading Girls spread at the start of this video, then you'll know that I definitely have a few series on there that I need to get to. I promised you we weren't going to leave that title page as it was, and I miraculously remembered that I owned about 1,000 rolls of washi tape, half of which are upstairs, and I limited myself to these few rolls you can see here. This blue gingham stole my heart. I don't think it has anything to do with the pattern on the page, but I used it anyway, and I used it quite a lot in my reading journal. Now this is the part at which I realised I wish somebody had taken my pens off me because these outlines were just so unnecessary and I honestly think they ruined the page, but I can't take it off the page now, so I'm learning to love it. But yellow and purple I think is one of my favourite combinations and it goes really well with pink and blue apparently. Next up, I'm essentially going to go through each and every page and updo. So I need to take off all of the pencil markings. I've done a few doodles around the edges, including some dots, just to spice the pages up a little, because I genuinely thought they looked super boring. Now here comes the satisfying part. I'm colouring in my bookshelves. I didn't need you to see all of this, but I thought this was quite satisfying of me filling these in. I don't know if you can see it, but I have already started marking off at the very top left-hand corner of the books and colour coding which ones go for which months, which funnily enough I have also done wrong, but it's okay because I've only done a dot of colour and we can always go over it. Now, are you ready for a jump scare page? Ready? Oh my goodness, you're thinking, what on earth has she done? And I'm also thinking the exact same thing. I don't know who let me loose with these Crayola colouring pens, but they're obviously not for people my age because this happens. I've kind of corrected it. I've done a nice purple. I've also decided that I needed some cute paper and some cute quotes. So here we are doing the cute paper and the cute quotes. Apparently I'll show you that cute quote at the end, but here we are. I need to stick down all of these pre-printed most anticipated reads. Funnily enough, I printed these ones out before my printer ran out of ink, so these ones actually have some nice colour and dark and light tones to them. And obviously, if you've seen my most recent video, I have had to mark off Enchantra because I've finally finished it. So I've already gone through one of my most anticipated reads of the year. Hence the reason there is only 6, because I don't know what I want to read. So I guess we'll be adding as we go. And obviously, I need to tick off what I've read. Funnily enough, I didn't realise I'm further through half of these theories than I initially thought. So go me. Also, I told you that there would be a reappearance of this blue gingham washi tape, and I wasn't lying. Oh my goodness, she's about to stick more on the page. Cover your eyes. Now, next up are my monthly pages. I haven't fully planned what I want to do with these, but I know that I wanted to print out the books and have the cute little book covers on the pages. So that is all I've planned for at the moment, is basically the title of the month, or should I say the name of the month, and then the individual book covers, which I will be sticking on the page. I believe I'll probably do tiny little reviews for each one, maybe start and finish date, maybe the star rating, and maybe on the other side I should do like a highlight of the month, because I've got quite a lot of space, so I reckon a cute highlight of the month would be great. And here I am filling out that long-awaited physical TBR. Hello guys, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the video. It is in fact me from the intro. Yes, I'm filming these one after the other. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I thoroughly enjoyed doing this. Now I know you're probably thinking like there were so many different clips and different lightings, and yes, it took me a good week to film this video purely because my camera battery is slowly dying a painful death, and so filming for anything longer than an hour absolutely exhausts my camera battery, which means it doesn't charge properly. So yeah, it was a case of filling out as much as I could on camera, filling in the tiny little bits that you guys really wouldn't be bothered to see off camera, and then coming back. Another thing as well I have to talk about is my big blunder with the book bingo. Now you will have seen me start to fill this out in the title, and I will have briefly explained it, but let me talk you through why only 6 of these are coloured in and why I will not be finishing this page. I didn't realise when you do book bingo that you colour them in as you fulfil the bingo. I thought you coloured them in and then crossed them out. Why would you cross them out? Because then you can't see what you've done. I didn't think it through at all. So considering I've already read 5 of the 14 squares I've coloured in, I'm going to leave it as it is. Hopefully I shall fulfil these soon, and then I shall continue to colour in as I read them, as a rule of thumb. So fingers crossed that works for the rest of the book. Also, you didn't get to see me finish filling out my physical TBR. I did in fact finish it. So we have half of our Dutch doors complete, and I have all this space for the rest of the books that I will be buying for the rest of the year. I don't plan on buying any books, but when does anybody ever plan on buying books, you know? Lastly, you will have seen that I finished this on April. Because I have a few things in terms of books that I've read for videos I want to do big spreads on where I can write my reviews and stuff down. So that's what will go there. And then I believe I'm going to do like a May, June, July, August chunk, and then another couple of random pages, and then September, October, November, December chunk. So yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you have a reading journal, comment down below your favourite spreads in your journal. I'd love to hear some of your guys' spreads. I'd also love some recommendations for what I can do for my spreads too, because I feel like I've not got enough compared to last year, you know? Okay, so don't forget to like and subscribe. I cannot wait to see you next week. We're definitely sticking along the lines of reading journaling listing, I believe, for next week's video. But without further ado, tune in next week. I shall see you then. Bye.